Buenos dias, todos. Today we're going to talk about phrases of obligations. You've already gone through and kind of examined that within a conversation that you've read. You've kind of thought about some, what happens after the IK or what happens after the Deber. Today we're just going to go through with this video and give you a little bit more in-depth explanation, easy for me to say, about these three phrases of obligations. The first one is going to be the tener que. And as you remember, tener que, and you may want to take notes over this, so pause your video if you don't have your notes out yet. Tener que is to have to do something. Tener que, and it will be followed by an infinitive verb. This is a personal expression. It tells you exactly who it is that has to do something. The tener will be conjugated to agree with the person that has to do whatever. To say that I have to study, I'll take the tener, I'll put it in the yo form. Yo tengo que. And the trickiest part to this is that the next verb, whatever it is that you have to do, stays in the infinitive. Yo tengo que estudiar. In the infinitive means it ends in AR, ER, or IR. It's personal because I know exactly who it is that has to study. If they have to study, or no, let's change it up. If they have to solve problems in math, let's start with ellos, because we know exactly who it is that has to solve the problems. Then I'm going to conjugate tener to agree with ellos. So ellos tienen que. And if you remember the phrase to solve problems, resolver problemas. I know exactly who it is that has to solve the problems because my ellos tienen, my verb tells me who it is that has to. And remember, whatever it is that has to be done stays in the infinitive, ending in AR, ER, or IR. So that's to say what someone has to do. Tener plus que plus the infinitive. Another personal way of saying that someone must do something is by using the verb deber plus the infinitive. This is a little bit different than the tener que, that you have to do something. You must do this. And this is also a personal way of saying that someone must, because I'm going to conjugate deber to agree with who it is that must do something. If I must write essays, I will conjugate my verb, yo debo. And remember, the next verb, the thing that I must do, stays in the infinitive. Yo debo escribir ensayos. Again, whatever it is that I must do stays in the infinitive. It's personal because I know exactly who it is that must do this. I could also say that we must do experiments. I know exactly who it is that must do them. We must. So I conjugate deber to agree with who that is. Nosotros debemos. And then whatever it is that we must do stays in the infinitive. Nosotros debemos hacer experimentos. I know exactly who it is that must do it because I have a subject and it's followed by an infinitive verb. Those are two ways of personally saying who has to or who must do something. When I want to talk about if something, or just in general, someone must do something, but I'm not saying exactly who it is. I'm not saying that it's me. I'm not saying that it's them, but if it's just in general, one must do something, I'm going to use the phrase IK. For this one, there is no conjugation for I. It's just going to agree with one must. And this phrase, IK, is going to be followed by an infinitive as well. And this is just going to be in general, someone, or in general, one must. Whatever that is that the person must do. To say that in general, one must answer a question. IK, in general, one must contestar una pregunta. I didn't say exactly who it is, but just in general, one must do this, perhaps in order to get your participation points in class. To be successful in school, para tener éxito en las clases, one must do their homework. One must, hay que, do their homework, completar los deberes. I'm not saying who it is exactly that must complete their homework, but just in general, to be successful in school, one must do this. And again, remember, just like the tener que and the deber, this phrase will be followed by an infinitive verb as well.